Hey, Dustin here, Smoking Eagles Rod Shop. Welcome to the channel, and in today's video, we're going to be reviewing a tool. Now, we don't do that very often on the channel, but this is the Weaver Hot Rod Induction Heater. I've seen a lot of guys do videos on these, and I'm really interested in how well they work. Most of the videos I'm not really impressed with. They're just heating bolts up on their benches and testing the temperature and all kinds of other crap. But we're putting this thing through real world situations. I actually was very interested in getting it to take press fit pins out of pistons without having to use my torch all afternoon to get the pins out. I've also got a bunch of old rusty junk around here. I got an old 40s mower deck, and the bolts on this thing look like they should never come out. Unless you got a torch, right? But we're gonna see if this thing will actually bust them loose for us. Like I said, we're gonna do real world stuff here. So stick around and I'll go get the press set up and then we'll start off with these pistons. All right, so what we've got here is I've got my piston set up. I run these big old giant Buick pistons, so it happens to fit the exact radius of these press plates. So I got it set up here so the pin is free to fall out. I've got this run down. Now this is air over hydraulic, but we're not going to be using the air feature, just the handle so we can feel it, because again, we're not trying to press these out. We're just using this to kind of help us push it out. You could use your vise if you wanted, because the idea is you're heating this rod up enough that the pin almost falls out without overheating the pin. Now I did read the instructions. It says you don't want jewelry, wedding rings, anything metal, chains, necklaces around this, because it superheats metal and you could run the risk of getting close to getting burnt like real fast. You also don't want pacemakers, any kind of medical implants or anything like that around this thing, so bear that in mind. They want you to bend your coils around the bolt or whatever you're trying to heat up as many times as you can, but we're kind of limited on what we can do here. So I came up with this with one of the ones that I can bend. It also doesn't want you to rest it on the bolt like that, because it will burn through this outside protective coating faster. We'll see what we can do. Basically, I got to set this down in like this, go around, and now it's around that rod, and it's back around here as well. And then I'm going to kind of bend it in a little bit just to get it as close to that as I can. And I'll try and balance it right here and see if we can heat it up. I also have my temperature gun, so we can check the temp every once in a while. They recommend when you do rods like this, you want like 400, 450 degrees. That's hot enough to assist you in removing the pin without damaging the temper of the steel of the rod itself. So they want me to plug this in. I got to plug in right here, so bear with me for a second, and we'll get this all set up. It's currently at 60 degrees. So let's press the button and see what we get. It's getting warm in there. I can see stuff smoking. $150. It'll probably take a little while to get this up to 400. It moved a little bit, but it's not warm enough yet. Keep a little pressure on it, and then we'll know when it starts loosening up. It's sitting at about 150. Well, it depends on kind of where I hit it. That's 200. It's really not heating it too much up there around the ring, which is kind of concerning, because it's heated up a bunch right back here. 200, 220, 230. Maybe the torch is going to be the way to do these rods. That would stink, because I would much rather sit here for a couple of minutes. Let's take our pins back out of here. Way I can set this down. It's 180. 170. That rod's hot. I feel like I need to route my wire better. To better put the heat where I want it. Alright, so I got the torch out here, and we'll heat this up and see how hot we got to get it before we can get this pin to come out. Well, not very hot. That moved. We're at 320 already. There it goes. It's coming right down out of there. Very little force. Oops, keep it going. What's our temperature at? We're at about 300. 320. There it is. We got our rod out. Yeah, I mean, the torch wasn't that fast, or wasn't that slow, wasn't that fast, but I don't think that induction heater is going to be the trick. Unfortunately, that sucks. Anyway, let's move over to the mower deck and see what it'll do over there. All right, so here we are at this mower deck, and this bolt, as you can see, is super rusted in there. I mean, it is rusted, man. It ain't coming off of there. It's a 9/16 from back in the 40s, probably. Ugh. And it is on there. It's just trying to spin over here. So let's see if we can heat this up a little bit and pull that off of there. I think this is a little bit better representation of what this thing is supposed to be used for. So hopefully we have a little better result. Get her plugged in. I've already got us a thing on. Oh, I forgot my thermometer, but it's already changing colors. So I think the amount of wraps the coil makes it around the item, or the bolt or nut or whatever you want to heat, really makes a huge difference. Oh yeah, it's blue already. Look at that, guys. Let's see if that'll come off of there now. Well, that's spinning real easy. Hey, it came right off. Look at that. That's awesome. I want to just reach out and touch it since it's finger tight now. But that's obviously a terrible idea. All right, let's pick another rusty bolt and see if we can get a different one out that looks even crustier, like maybe this one. Is that a 9/16 as well? Ooh, my wrench is warm. Be careful of that. Okay, yeah, let's try this one over here. I'll get you positioned over so you can see how crusty this thing is. So as you guys can see, like this thing is like basically become part of the bolt. Let's see if we can get that down around here and see if we can't get this thing to pop off. I'm trying to hold it just up off of it so it's not really touching. I actually see it starting to change colors already. This is probably going to need quite a bit of heat. It's turning blue. It's not red, but she's hot. Let's try that. Came loose. Look at that. Man, that actually works way better than I thought it would. Of course, these are pretty small bolts. Let me see if I can find us something bigger and rustier. Because, yeah, man, I'm happy with that. That is cool. I'll be back. All right, I think you guys will like this. This is actually part of an old implement off of like a 20s Farmall. And as you can see, it's like 60 degrees. These are the old square nuts and bolts. I mean, this thing is freaking ancient. You can see how long this has been on here and it beaten, abused, drugged through the cornfield. So let's get our induction heater on here, see if we can get this off. I would say this is about the craziest application you could come up with for one of these, is to take something off this old and this crusty. Anything crazier than this, and I think you're gonna have to get a torch or a cutoff disc or something. Now, I'm not even spraying these with lube, so it's getting warm. It's already 1:30. Cooking the years of rust off of it. $190. This is 400 on the bolt. Over here on the back side of the bolt, though, it's only like 220, 200. So the heat's not really traveling too far. I mean, it is traveling. If you had a bushing in here, it would be frickin' melting. But anything out around here, you'd be safe with. Yeah, we're at 270. We'll give her a little more juice and then we'll try and take her off of there. All right, see what we can get. Holy shit. Look at that. Came right off, guys. That is crazy. Look how easy that's coming off of there. And you couldn't even tell that this bolt even had threads left on it. I'm not going to take it all the way off because I'm going to put this back out where I got it on my spare parts pile. But wow, just wow. So what are my thoughts on the Solary hot rod induction heater? Well, I think this thing performed really, really well for taking those bolts out on the old mower deck and farm implement. We're in the Rust Belt here, and if you couldn't tell, those things have been sitting outside for 50, 60 years, probably longer, and it took them right out. There's no way those bolts would have came out without just snapping off without some heat. So yeah, I'm really impressed with that. As far as the press fit pins on the pistons here, it's just not a good, viable solution for that. Just going to have to keep using the MAP gas. I was kind of hoping that would work a little better than it did, but hey, no big deal. We're going to put this thing to use with all the rusty, crusty crap we work on here in the Rust Belt and definitely get our money's worth out of it. Now, how long is it going to last? Well, I don't know, right? It's cheap and it's Chinese and whatever. But as long as it lasts long enough for A, us to get our money's worth out of it, busting bolts loose, and B, until its new and improved replacement comes out, it'll probably be about that big around, fit right in your pocket. Then we can scoop that up and we can move this along either A, into the old swap meet Louis bin, or B, straight into the dumpster. Yeah, as long as it lasts that long, I'll be happy. I'm going to post some other things around my melon here of things we're doing in the shop. Go check that stuff out when you get a chance. We've got merch available on our website. We've got a Facebook group over on the Facebooks. Go join that. Show us your projects. Let us know what you think. Share some funny memes. We're always down for a good laugh. We've got a membership program here on YouTube that helps me get these tools and bring you guys these cool videos. So if you're interested in that, you get early access to all my videos the day that I drop them. You don't have to wait until Friday or Saturday when they drop every week. Yeah, until next time, guys, keep on wrenching. Peace.